A sport that continues to climb in popularity, specifically in the city of St. Louis, is the game of disc golf. The game of disc golf is played much like regular ball golf, only without the thousands of dollars invested in club memberships and green fees, golf clubs, balls, and shoes. A round consists of 18 holes, in which players are required to throw a variety of discs off a designated tee pad, making their way down the fairway, ultimately throwing their disc in the basket in as few strokes as possible. For beginners, disc golf discs are cheap, ranging from $7 to $10 each, and only 3 discs are required when starting out: a putter, a mid-range, and a driver. And the best part, disc golf courses are free to play. Now, tee signs, like this one, are posted for convenience and act as a map to the pin ahead. The placement of the baskets, length of the hole, and out of bounds should clearly be marked here. Now, being pulled from the bag are the 3 discs previously stated: a putter followed by a mid-range and a driver. I will demonstrate how a hole of disc golf is played and the appropriate time to use each of the 3 discs. Your first shot off the tee is typically thrown with a driver, a faster, farther flying disc. You'll be trying to bite off as much distance as possible with this shot, or set up an easy second approach shot to the pin. The second shot, known as an upshot, is usually taken with a mid-range or a slower, straighter flying disc. The goal of an upshot is to land as close to the basket as possible. Now, the last of the 3 shots is a putt, one of the harder shots to master in disc golf. The goal is to let your disc hit center chains and drop in the basket, then off to the next hole to repeat the cycle. To be a well-rounded player, each of these 3 shots, along with disc selection and technique, will need to be learned. Smokin Aces is a local Wentzville disc golf shop, and through outreach efforts and involvement and investment in their community, are continuing to grow the sport of disc golf in the city of St. Louis.
My name is Mike Taylor. I own Smokin Aces Disc Golf here in Wentzville with my best friend Bernie Hertwick. We started Smokin Aces in February of 2016. I ran it out of my house and my garage for the first 6 to 8 months, and then we were lucky enough to open the store October 1st here in Wentzville, and there's been no looking back since. I guess I got into disc golf 2.5 to 3 years ago. My friends Bernie and Henry took me out to Quail Ridge here. I was absolutely horrible the first time I was out, and I'm too competitive, so I had to get better. The same time period I was going through my divorce, so disc golf was my zen. It was my one place I could go where I didn't have to worry about court and custody battles and all the divorce stuff that was going on. So it was my one place that I could get away. So I was instantly hooked. I fell in love with the sport. I would join the St. Charles Disc Golf Club, and all the guys kind of took me in as a family. The community of disc golfers around here, probably the greatest group of guys I've ever met. I was the sales manager at a flooring store for the first couple of years, and I would try to take off as many weekends as possible to start playing tournaments and getting into leagues, and the more competitive it got, the more fun it got. Last year when the vendor for our club went out, Kyle and Harley dissolved pin high discs. The club was without a vendor for a couple of tournaments, and Bernie and myself sat down. Bernie was in an entrepreneur class at the college, and he was actually working on a business plan for a disc golf company. So it just so happened that we took his business plan and the opportunity to be the vendor for the club, and that's how Smokin Aces started. We took a trip to South Carolina and bought our first 700 discs from the end of a warehouse. We were like 2 kids in a candy store on Christmas morning. It was the greatest day. We spent open to close and at the end of a warehouse picking through discs. Probably looked at 200,000 to 300,000 discs that day. After we got back, we talked to Matt Canada about being the vendor for the club, and he said, if you guys can come up with 1,000 discs and show that you can put on a good display, that they would make us the sole vendor. After we were the sole vendor for the club, I quit my flooring job, and we opened up the store here in October. We started our own Smokin Aces tour, so we've got 8 events now. We've got 4 PDGA C tiers, 4 PDGA B tiers. We are the vendor for the St. Charles Club. We always will be, because that's where we started. So all in total this year, we've got 38 events booked. I was contacted by Dave Feldberg and a couple of the guys from the Next Gen Tour to run a Next Generation Tour qualifier here in St. Charles. That's super exciting. So May 27th, we'll have a Next Generation Tour, which is almost like a national tour for amateur players. The winner of the tour is going to win a car this year. They've never given anything like that away for amateur players before, so that's kind of a big deal. So we did a lot here in the backyard to start a putting league. We cleaned up the backyard. We had a bobcat come in, move some dirt around. We planted a lot of grass seed, and we ended up with 5 baskets out back set up for a putting league. On Friday nights, it's $5 a guy. We would end up normally 30 to 50 guys a night out here for putting league. And then in week 7 of 8, the backyard was hit by a tornado. We took out 3 of our big trees, took out 3 of our baskets. After the tornado, the local community did kind of rally around us. The local pizza shop down here, Tommy D's, held a fundraiser event for us. The disc golf club helped with some donations. We had a lot of guys come out, donate some time, some chainsaws. We're in the process of getting that all cleaned up, and we're going to turn it now from just a putting course. We're going to try to make it into a full-blown disc golf training center. We're going to have soft toss nets with a radar gun so guys can see how hard they throw. We'll have the 5 baskets set back up for the putting league, and then we will also have a 12 by 12 by 36 foot batting cage where we're going to set up a GoPro station. People can actually come in, we're able to record their form, come in here to the store, edit the video, send it back over to them so they can take that home and know what kind of stuff they need to work on. So the tornado may end up being a blessing in disguise.
If you're looking for a fun new competitive outlet, look no further than the sport of disc golf. Make sure to get on Facebook and check out the St. Charles County Disc Golf Community page, where you can get in touch with other disc golfers in the community around you. And make sure to check out Smokin Aces Disc Golf in Wentzville, Missouri.